Hi there, I'm Bob Bradley from the Pampered Cruiser. Welcome to today's webinar, All Aboard for the Rockies to the Red Rocks, an overview of Rocky Mountaineer's new route in the United States. We've spoken with many of you individually and possibly even booked a cruise for you. And many of our clients are looking for trips a bit closer to home for 2021, so we were extremely excited when Rocky Mountaineer announced their new route in the United States. Many of you may be familiar with the Rocky Mountaineer from their Canadian Rockies trip between Calgary and Vancouver. But now we've got this domestic option, which is perfect for those that want to experience the luxury rail journey right here at home, so you don't need to cross any borders. Our clients are indicating a huge interest in this trip, so we put together this video to share as much information as possible with you. At the end, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions, and of course, we always encourage you to get in touch, either by email or telephone, in case you've already started planning your trip. I encourage you to stay all the way to the end of the webinar because you'll receive a valuable gift. For those who haven't met us before, I'll tell you a little bit more about our story in just a minute, but first, here's a photo of Sue and I in Prince Rupert, British Columbia when we were hosting a group on board the cruise in Alaska. I'd like to thank all our clients and people that follow us who've been asking how we've been doing throughout this pandemic. As I'm sure you can imagine, the travel industry has been one of the worst affected, and it's so nice that everybody's been so concerned about us. To say it's been a long year would be a bit of an understatement. And being cruise specialists was especially exciting for 2020. We've been feeling good lately that we're finally starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel now that a vaccine's been announced. And even though on any given day the short-term news may not be great, we are itching to start traveling again, like many of our clients have indicated as well. At the time we're producing this video in early December of 2020, there's still a lot of uncertainty about when we'll be able to go to other countries without worrying about quarantine restrictions and so on. And many of our clients have really indicated a desire to travel closer to home this year. So Rocky Mountaineer's announcement of their new route in the United States could not have come at a better time. Before we get started, let me share a little bit of our story so you know who we are. And for those of you that have talked to us on the phone in the past, maybe you don't know these things about us. We have a busy travel business with the two of us working out of SmartFlyer, a large travel agency based in New York City. Over the past several years, we've helped hundreds of clients plan unforgettable cruise vacations. If you want to check out our Facebook page, we've got quite a few reviews on there. If you want to look at them, you can go to the Reviews tab. Our agency is part of Virtuoso, the invitation-only travel consortia, and for the past 2 years, Sue and I have been named as Virtuoso Cruise Icons, indicating that our cruise sales place us within the top 1% of all travel advisors in North America. We love to travel and have done a whole bunch of that ourselves in the past few years, of course, prior to COVID. All right, so let's get started with the good stuff. So in today's video, I'll give you a quick introduction to Rocky Mountaineer and their world-class train journeys. We'll go into some detail talking about all aspects of Rocky Mountaineer's newest route, the Rockies to the Red Rocks. That's Denver in the east, over the Rocky Mountains to Moab, Utah in the west. I'll give you an overview of all the different packages offered ranging from 2 to 8 days and how to pick the right one for you. And I'll also show you what it's like on board a Rocky Mountaineer train and what to expect on the trip. I'll go over what's included in the package prices and what's not. I'll show you exactly how much you can expect to pay and how you get the best value when you do book. And as I mentioned, you'll receive a valuable gift for watching right to the end. All right, to start, let me tell you a little bit about Rocky Mountaineer. Even though this routing is new, the Rocky Mountaineer has been operating in the Canadian Rockies for over 30 years, so we've got a reasonable idea of what to expect when they launch their U.S. Rockies trip. Rocky Mountaineer operates multi-day, daytime train journeys that feature incredible scenery, regional cuisine, and attentive service in its spacious glass-domed train coaches. Rocky Mountaineer compares much more closely with world-class train trips like the Orient Express than it does with something like the Amtrak. The trips are world-renowned and are acknowledged as to be the best way to experience some of the most spectacular scenery in North America. Rocky Mountaineer is the largest privately owned luxury tourist train company in the world, and they've welcomed nearly 2 million people on board their trains. They've received numerous international awards and accolades for their service excellence. And now Rocky Mountaineer is bringing that same luxury train experience to the American Southwest. This new route through the Rocky Mountains in the U.S. is called the Rockies to the Red Rocks and connects the two compelling destinations of Denver, Colorado and Moab, Utah with an overnight stay in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Rockies to the Red Rocks showcases the best scenery the U.S. Southwest has to offer, and the train travels along the rivers, past mountain ranges, and through the ancient rock canyons. This stunning rail route is filled with highlights best seen by train, everything from the vast canyons and the chromatic deserts to the red sandstone landscapes and the twists through the light bright blue sky, and big portions of the route you can't see by car even if you were to drive from Denver into Utah. Highlights from this route include Mount Garfield, Ruby Canyon, the Continental Divide, the Moffat Tunnels, Byers Canyon, and Mount Peel. With Rocky Mountaineer, everything is choreographed to make your journey feel special, effortless, and unforgettable. The custom-designed glass dome coach puts you right in the heart of the stunning Southwest, and you'll have front row seats for one of the most spectacular settings on the planet. You'll witness the breathtaking scenery and panoramic views through the oversized windows from the comfort of your spacious seat. These oversized windows give you a clean, crisp view and make photography really easy. You'll also learn about what you're seeing while you're enjoying the view. Your onboard hosts are interactive and engaging, and they'll share fascinating stories, point out wildlife along the way, and provide you with detailed maps and other information highlighting the route. You'll enjoy gourmet meals served in the comfort of your seat. It might even take your eyes off the scenery for a while, who knows. And the culinary team serves you with delicious, regionally inspired cuisine right at your seat, accompanied by complimentary alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. You'll have a glass of champagne in hand as you glide over the Continental Divide with a toast among friends. This is more than a luxury trip. This is a feast for the senses, and you've never experienced rail travel quite like this. The best part is the train travels only during the daylight hours, so you won't miss a thing in terms of scenery. You'll see the sights by day, and you get to sleep in a hotel in a comfortable bed at night. With Rocky Mountaineer, you get the best of both worlds, maximum views, maximum comfort, but no sleeper cars. Rocky Mountaineer has created a selection of carefully crafted packages, so there's really something for everyone. I'm going to run through the different options with you right now, and then afterwards we'll go over and see exactly what's included. So each of these packages that I'm about to talk about can also be taken in the opposite direction. You can either go eastbound or westbound. And before deciding which package you want, you'll need to first decide on which destinations you want to visit, because this will help narrow things down a bit for you. So before we get started with the packages, let's spend a minute looking at the main destinations that are available. So even though the train ride goes between Denver in the east and Moab, Utah in the west, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can bolt on to this trip to give yourself a more complete package. So let's start with Denver. Your train ride will either start or end there, and it's a big city out that way, so this is a good place to start. You'll visit the magnificent Mile High City no matter which of the packages that you choose. Denver is an outdoor city known for its world-class cultural attractions, thriving craft breweries, chef-driven dining, and red-hot music scene, all within an easy reach of the Rocky Mountains. The airport's about 30 miles out of town, and you can take a flat-rate taxi downtown. Right now it's $56 at the time of publishing. If you're staying overnight in Denver, your hotel will be within 2 blocks of the train station, so it's an easy walk, or we can arrange for a transfer if mobility is an issue for you. You don't have to worry about your luggage. Luggage handling is included, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Union Station is in the heart of downtown Denver, and it's an opulent and fully restored 1914 Beaux-Arts train station, now home to swanky bars, restaurants, shops, and a boutique hotel. No matter which package you choose, your trip will include an overnight stay in the charming mountain town of Glenwood Springs. Glenwood Springs sits in the rugged Rocky Mountains at the confluence of the Colorado and Roaring Fork rivers, surrounded by the vast White River National Forest. You'll find plenty of things to do in this little historic town. Glenwood Springs is a resort town known the world over for its famous hot springs. The resort is considered the world's largest mineral hot springs pool, and it features 2 enormous outdoor pools and award-winning spa of the Rockies. The other end of your rail journey will be a visit to Moab in southwestern Utah. Your train ride will either start or finish there. Moab is surrounded by some of the most stunning red rock landscapes on Earth and is the gateway to nearby Arches and Canyonlands national parks. While exploring the most unique scenery in the American Southwest, visitors can relax and experience the small-town hospitality of Moab. If you've heard of Moab, you probably know its location is a little bit remote. There's an airport there, but service is really limited to about 1 flight a day. Instead, you'll want to use one of the larger airports in either Salt Lake City, which is about 250 miles from Moab, or Las Vegas, which is about 500 miles away. So Rocky Mountaineer has come up with packages that will take you to either of those two cities. But if you'd rather just do the 2-day rail journey, then we can help you with an airport transfer to one of those two larger airports. You're probably aware that Utah has a disproportionate number of our total national parks. So let's have a chat about Arches National Park, one of Utah's mighty five. Located just 5 miles north of Moab is Arches National Park, which contains the world's largest concentration of natural sandstone arches. This is the stuff you see pictures of all the time. And although over 2,000 arches are located within the park's 76,000 acres, the park also contains an astounding variety of other geological formations. If you choose one of the 5, 6, or 7-night packages, then you'll get to visit Arches National Park. Moving along, Canyonlands is the largest national park in Utah, and its diversity staggers the imagination. The easiest way to see the park is with the visit to the Island in the Sky district, only 32 miles from Moab. Island in the Sky sits on top of a massive 1,500-foot mesa, quite literally an island in the sky. 20 miles of paved roads lead to many of the most spectacular points in canyon country. From these lofty viewpoints, visitors can often see over 100 miles in any given direction, resulting in panoramic views that encompass thousands of square miles of canyon country. If you choose one of the 5, 6, or 7-night packages again, then you get to visit Canyonlands National Park. 32 miles from Moab, Dead Horse Point State Park is one of Utah's treasures. The view from the Dead Horse Point is one of the most photographed scenic vistas in the world. Towering 2,000 feet above the Colorado River, the overlook provides a breathtaking panorama of the Canyonlands' sculpted pinnacles and buttes. Again, the 5, 6, or 7-night packages will get you to see Dead Horse State Park. So I think the cool part about this is that you get to see the snow-capped peaks of the Rocky Mountains, but you also get to see all these desert formations as well. So Zion National Park is also known for towering mountains and red canyons carved out by the Virgin River. Bryce Canyon is not a single canyon, but a series of natural amphitheaters or bowls carved into the edge of a high plateau. The most famous of these is the Bryce Amphitheater, which is filled with irregularly eroded spires of rocks called hoodoos. If you choose the 6 or 7-night package, then you'll get to visit both Bryce Canyon National Park and Zion National Park with an overnight stay in Bryce Canyon. So you can see if you're one of those national park stamp collectors, it's pretty easy to get a number of stamps in your passport here. So you may have heard of this one. This is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, and it's called the Grand Canyon. Located in Arizona, the Grand Canyon National Park encompasses 277 miles of the Colorado River and the adjacent uplands. The park is home to much of the immense Grand Canyon. It's a mile deep and up to 18 miles wide in places, and you can see the layered bands of colorful rock revealed for millions of years of geologic history. On the 7-night Rocky Mountaineer packages, you get to visit Grand Canyon National Park. Also included in the 7-night Rocky Mountaineer packages, Monument Valley. It's a region in the Arizona-Utah state line sort of area, known for its towering red sandstone buttes, the largest reaching 1,000 feet above the valley floor. And in case you're wondering, a butte is an isolated hill with a steep, often vertical sides with a small, relatively flat top, like the kind you used to see on the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner cartoon. All right, let's take a look at the different packages that are available. Really, you can choose anything between 1 and 7 nights. On this slide, you can see the different destinations that we just talked about. So you can do a 3-night package. That would be 1 night in Denver. Of course, the night included on the train journey in Glenwood Springs, and 1 night in Moab. And then if you wanted to add an additional hotel night in either Salt Lake City or Las Vegas, that would make it into a 4-night package. On the 5-night package, and there's also, you can do this either by having Rocky Mountaineer move you around by motor coach, or you can do a self-drive option as well, which would be preferable for some folks, of course. So the 5-night packages, again, moving from east to west, would be Denver on 1 night, Glenwood Springs. Again, that's the your night in the hotel between your 2 train days. 2 nights in Moab to visit all those national parks we just talked about, and then 1 night in Salt Lake City. The 6-night package, again, working from east to west. You can also do it the opposite way, but For illustrative purposes, we'll start in Denver again, overnight in Glenwood Springs between your 2 train days. 2 nights in Moab, where you get to go see all those national parks. There's also an overnight in Lake Powell, and then an overnight in Vegas. They also have, the 4th one is called the At Leisure package. So this is a 7-night package. It's the most inclusive package that's offered on the itinerary. And you'll see every single one of the things that we talked about here. And if you wanted to see the Grand Canyon and Monument Valley, this is the only package that includes a visit to all those things. So because all of that probably seems a little bit like Lithuanian language lessons, please give us a call when you're ready to start planning your trip, and we can help you choose the best one for you and perhaps make it a little easier. No matter which package you choose, your trip will include all of the following things. So again, as we mentioned earlier, we've got the reclining, comfortable, pre-assigned seating with ample legroom. So they're not jamming you in like they are on what I used to do on the Philadelphia to Manhattan regional train. So this is a luxury rail experience. So there's lots of space here. There's panoramic views through the oversized windows and the glass dome rail coach. There's a selection of delicious regionally inspired gourmet meal options, as well as tasty snacks, and served with the culinary team right to your seat. There's complimentary alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages and gourmet snacks throughout the journey. And there's the interactive and captivating Rocky Mountaineer hosts with stories and trivia about the historic sites, the flora, the fauna, the wildlife, all that sort of stuff. These folks really actually make the trip. We haven't done this trip yet because this is brand new, but we have done the one on the Canadian side. And these... The people they hire to do the hosting are really, really good at what they do. They really do make the trip. There's also complimentary luggage handling and delivery to your overnight hotel accommodation. So you're not dragging your bags. Your bags just get delivered to your hotel room for you. So that's great. You're saying, no, but what's not included? Well, you got to get to Denver and you got to get home from wherever you, again, assuming an east to west itinerary, you got to get home from either Salt Lake City or Vegas. So your flights are not included. Gratuities are not included. You should always have travel insurance anytime you leave home. That's not included. And airport transfers are not included. So they are available for purchase from Rocky Mountaineer, but and that's at the Denver end. That's fairly easy because you're in a city. At the Moab end, because there's so many different options, whether you're going to do self-drive or whether you're just going to transfer to Las Vegas or to Salt Lake City, they put these for purchase just because everybody's going to have different requirements. Rocky Mountaineer also offers this thing called Silverleaf Plus. So you can choose to enhance your experience on board the train, and that'll include exclusive and unlimited access to this newly renovated lounge car. So what they've done is they've added this extra car to the train, and you only get access to that car if you're in Silverleaf Plus. So the lounge car includes additional space indoors to relax and soak in the scenery as it passes you by, as well as a small outdoor viewing area. And there's a mixologist in the lounge car that will be carefully crafting signature cocktails and whatnot for you. And you'll also enjoy an elevated dining experience with additional course dining during select meals, as well as a premium alcoholic beverage package. You can add the Silverleaf Plus package to your journey for $395 per person. That's in addition to whatever package you choose. And the only trick here is that there's a limited number of Silverleaf spots available on each train. So you can imagine all these train cars. So there's only 52 people on each departure that can purchase this Silverleaf Plus, because again, that's the car that is attached to this lounge car. And I did promise to show you exact prices, so here we go. The prices will vary slightly depending on which departure that you choose. There is some seasonal variation here. But these prices on this slide are certainly available. So the basic 2-day package, so that's 2 days, just the one night between the 2 rail days, that basic package is $1,250 per person before tax. If you want the classic package, and that's the one that includes, that's the 3 nights, so that's your night before you board the train, the night between the 2 train days, and your night after the train, then the cost is $1,586 per person before tax. You can also extend this package into either Las Vegas or Salt Lake City with an extra night there. So for the Explorer package, these are the itineraries where they start to get really interesting with the extra touring and the surrounding national parks and whatnot. The 5-night Explorer package, which ends in Salt Salt Lake City. That one is $29.59 per person before tax. And that's the one that visits the Arches National Park, Canyonlands National Park, and Dead Horse Point State Park. If you choose the Explorer package that ends in Las Vegas, it's one night longer, and just because Vegas is a bit further away from Moab, and you'll add on a visit to Bryce Canyon and also to Zion National Park. And finally, if you choose the At Leisure package, this includes all the destinations we've talked about so far, and you also get to visit the Grand Canyon and the Monument Valley. So remember, if you want to visit the Grand Canyon Monument Valley, then you need to pick that 7-day trip. So we always try to make sure that our clients get the very best value when they're booking any trip. And so you're saying, okay, well, how do I do that here? Well, first of all, you want to book as soon as possible for the best availability. That's especially true here in 2021. For one reason, there's a lot of pent-up demand for travel, particularly domestic travel. And because this is a brand new routing for Rocky Mountaineer, they're only operating from August through October. So there's only 40 departures in 2021. They'll have a full schedule in 2022, but availability is going to be particularly limited in 2021. This is especially true for the Silverleaf Plus service that I just mentioned, and that's just because there's a limited number of seats on every departure date. Another thing you can do to get great value is to gather a group of people together who all want to travel together. And this is especially appealing, these days. Hopefully we're through the COVID thing by August, but you can form your own travel bubble if you have a larger group with you. So, and the good news is, when you book a group of 12 guests or more, the 12th person travels free. Which isn't so bad. So if you wanted to go with extended family or maybe a group of folks that you like to travel with, again, that 12th person goes free. So why not be the ringleader and get a couple of families, a group of friends and co-workers together and do that. Rocky Mountaineer also provides an escort for groups to manage all the details. So you, as the group ringleader, you're free to relax and enjoy the trip too. So you're not on duty, if you like, for the whole time you're away if you choose to do that. So if you have a group, get in touch with us and we can help. I should also mention, for those of us that don't know us as well, there is no fee to work with us, so we get paid on a commission basis from our suppliers. In this case, Rocky Mountaineer. So the price you pay booking through us is exactly the same as you would get if you book direct, and your payments go directly to Rocky Mountaineer. So we're not holding your money at any point. If you look in your credit card statement, it will say Rocky Mountaineer even if you book it through us. And as a thank you for doing that, booking with us, we always add something a little bit extra above and beyond what you would get than by booking direct. So the price is going to be exactly the same as it is booking direct, and we can do something else for you as well. We sell an awful lot of cruises, so with our cruise clients, this is often a special shore experience or an onboard credit. With Rocky Mountaineer, we'll be adding something special extra too, but more about that in just a minute. Rocky Mountaineer is offering some enhanced flexibility for 2021 bookings. So the deposit, $25 a person. It doesn't get much better than that. $25 a person will secure your reservation. The deposit is then increased to 20% on January 31st, and that's refundable for 60 days. So you get the peace of mind of 2 free date changes. So if you originally booked for August and say, no, I can't go till October now, then you don't lose anything as a result of that, as long as you give 60 days notice. And if you do have to change the date, then you can move your travel to any other date up to and including the 2023 season. So I promised something special for staying right to the end of the webinar, and I thank you very much again for doing so. If you mention this webinar when you book a Rocky Mountaineer trip with us, we'll give you a $100 Rocky Mountaineer merchandise gift credit. So when you get on board the train, you'll find there's a merchandise catalog in the seat pocket, and there's everything there from jewelry to backpacks and jackets, t-shirts, and lots of other stuff to choose from as well. So with your $100 merchandise credit, you can take home a really nice memento from your trip just because you watched this webinar. So here's the part where I sound like a carnival barker, but just to recap, with Rocky Mountaineer, you get a luxury all-inclusive rail journey without having to leave the country at all. So we don't have to worry about restrictions on border crossings or any of that other nonsense. You get to see incredible scenery, you'll enjoy delicious regional cuisine, you'll feel utterly spoiled with the attentive service that you receive, and all while traveling in a spacious glass dome rail coach through the American Southwest. It's going to be a trip you will never forget. And perhaps even better, you'll have bragging rights because you're going to be one of the first guests to experience this new route. So if you're interested, I'd recommend getting in touch as quickly as possible because, as I said, there are a limited number of departures that are going to go out in 2021. And we know that people are really looking forward to traveling next year, especially close to home. And we fully expect this new itinerary to be very popular and to fill up really quickly. So get in touch quick, and we look forward to helping you. Thanks very much for watching.